You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Shameless After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Shameless After Show.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another after show for Shameless as JJ spills her entire cup of water.
Party foul.
Sorry, I was getting blasted in my headphones. I got a little excited.
That's what happens when I'm on the panel out here with you guys. Episode 11, the penultimate episode of season 3, called Emily. We didn't know quite why it was called Emily, but it makes sense in the end.
Yes, it does.
We don't have Dre and Renee tonight, unfortunately, but we do have the likes of JJ Jurgens.
Hi, guys.
And Joyce.
Hi, everybody.
And I'm Phil Svitek.
I gotta say, I'm so happy you're out here.
You're back.
I know. Thank you, Marissa Serafini, in the booth.
Thanks, Marissa.
Yes, of course.
All right, let's again. We're getting deeper and deeper with these episodes. So I don't know if you could call it starting off light, but we're gonna talk about Debbie.
Cool. I feel like there's so much to cover, and we only have one episode left.
I know.
Like, there's so much I want to know. I don't think we're gonna know.
What do you want to know, just off the bat?
I want to know, like, what happens after Frank comes to, as we see in the next, like, in the previews and everything. I mean, I don't think we'll get too much of it next episode. We'll have to wait. There's definitely gonna be a lot of cliffhangers. So.
Okay.
I agree with you. We were kind of talking how he's been in the state the whole season, and I kind of like. I want to see that too. Like, I would have wanted it to come a little before, so I want to. I kind of miss his old antics and him just being around. So it's been hard to watch him just being.
But he's
got,
you know. He's just, and we'll talk about this more in his storyline specifically. But he's finally, he has to pay. It's Judgment Day for him. Yeah. But let's talk about Debbie, sort of not necessarily the youngest of the Gallagher. That's reserved for. Anyway, I was gonna call him a retard, but he's not retarded though, right? So thank God, like he's come to Liam in his own way. So thank God. But Debbie, she's really grown up in the worst of ways. And I asked you two as we were watching this, did you guys ever go, do this kind of stuff? And you guys are shameless. You made out.
Thankfully, we didn't have Instagram back then.
I can't even.
I never got messed with like that, but
Thank you.
Marissa brought in a napkin for the spilled water.
My fumble fingers.
Yeah, but I guess as junior highs or in junior high or in high school and stuff, like you kind of girls go through that. I went through that. I mean, you kind of hide and kiss, like your first kiss is in a secret spot. I mean,
let's recap the season. You guys didn't know what
what was
you didn't know what sexiled was.
Sexiled.
We didn't. What was the other? I taught you so.
It had to do with abortions, I think. Oh,
yeah. PBR abortion.
Yeah, PBR abortion.
I mean, granted, thank God you guys didn't know that, but and yet you guys did these sort of things.
I did know all about the titty effing we discussed. Though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yes.
She brought that on board.
It was. I thought that's where we're going with Debbie was some titty effing.
Oh. No,
like we said, we both did. I remember in our high school, or actually I was in junior high. No, I was actually a younger guy. I was in 9th grade. I believe he was in 8th grade. I was a little late bloomer, but we had to go into the back halls of our junior high and our high school were connected. So our big spot was the back halls in our high school.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like after track practice.
Under the bleachers. Also, well, mine was backstage at our 8th grade play. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Come on,
first
where
kiss.
was yours,
Come on.
Phil?
Okay, no, I'm not gonna get into it.
What?
But here's what in terms of what I liked was I guess it rings very true to life apparently.
Yeah.
And what I liked was like, okay, he's so bangable.
Fantastic.
That's it.
Fantastic.
Fantastic is the official term. And I love how her friends still continue to be little brats and like, she's a redhead.
Yeah.
Ew.
That really showed their true feelings about Debs, like especially Holly. We always knew she was kind of the brat, and she's the slut in the group and everything. But I always thought that she had genuine friendship feelings towards Debs.
Yeah.
But this really showed that if something like that happens where she feels that jealousy or something, she'll throw Debs under the bus. Or that's what she would do, I feel.
Yeah, she always wants the attention on her and to be, this crushed me because I just thought he was so sweet. I thought, giving her the heart, and I just thought, oh, nice, she's gonna get somebody, kind of closer to her age.
And
really
the drawing was amazing.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
He went all out for that. But I do find it funny that the heart he gave her was a frog's heart. The story of, if you kiss the frog, it turns into a prince.
Yeah.
He was not the prince at all. He was the frog the entire time. And it was under the guise of sweetness.
He made what, $50 on the deal?
$50. Yeah.
What I liked about Holly, it did throw us off because it was like, okay, you know what, Deb does deserve somebody, and you know what, I'm glad he's not going for Holly, who is just a sexaholic. And you're like, okay, they got their relationship, and as soon, and it was kind of, and it caught us off guard because, as he says, hey, go to the dance with me. And, I was like, okay, that's going to be bad in itself because they're just going to, Debbie, you're moving too fast.
Yeah.
And then it just went wrong from there.
It's sad to say, but I thought something was up from the beginning.
You did?
I had a feeling, but then I kind of pushed it away because I was like, Debs wants this. She needs this. This is good. Like someone really sweet to her. But then, that didn't happen.
Okay, so she's back with Maddie now. He's gonna take it to the dance, and he's still continues to be the good guy that we like. However, they should not be together.
I know. I get so torn on this because I was so glad to see him show up for her like that and comfort her, and I feel like and that he broke up with Seema, and like I just was so glad. But then I start to think of his age again, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. It's tough. I think if the law doesn't get involved and somehow claim statutory rape or whatever, I think they could work out if they don't get caught by.
Well, as long as he's been
law.
true to the fact of like, okay, let's not sleep together. So as long as he waits, let's give it 3 years. 3 years of not sleeping together, making out, maybe some titty fucking. We'll be all right there.
Exactly. I root for him though. I think they're sweet together.
I think so too.
So I want him to hold out and wait for her to get a little older.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think he gets her.
Yeah.
And I want him to stay for her sake. But
And he's kind of like goofy and sweet too, I just think they're
a good couple, but
yeah. Do you think Seema will get involved further and try to screw up their relationship?
No, I think that's over and done with.
It's over?
Yeah, because he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I don't think for her it's not enough
crazy.
She is, but on her end, like, it's not enough of a motive to gain him back. Like,
I suppose.
It's not like Mandy and her boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's not one of those situations. It's like, okay, we went out. It was, this little crazy girl got involved, and you know what? I don't need this. I don't need this in my life.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. So I think she's moved on to other people by this point, probably.
Okay.
That's just who she is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of people moving, let's talk about Carl and Bonnie's family moving in.
Oh my goodness. I love how she was like, okay, we'll move in with you.
Well, why wouldn't they? It's a great deal.
It is a great deal. But it was so easy. I don't know.
Well, at the very least, it shows Carl's sensitive side.
Yeah.
So.
That's true.
Yeah, it it made me cringe a little bit though, because I was just like, oh, not what they need, even more chaos in the house, and But I like that it all turned out well with the lady from Child Protective Services who.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad it all worked out well.
Yeah.
But
I guess touching upon seeing Carl's sensitive side, I do agree that that's definitely that was his motive for like inviting her over. Because if he were in that situation, I'm sure he would do the same thing. And knowing the Gallaghers, they always let people stay over. And why would he act any differently?
Yeah, and you know what? As much as I ragged on Bonnie, I'm glad in the last moments when he texts Fiona of like, "Hey, we're in your bed. Don't come home." I'm I'm glad she was the one who said, you know what, I don't like this.
But why though? That kind of raised a question for me, thinking that, I mean, her dad's not in the picture. Maybe she's been, sexually harassed or assaulted in the past. I don't know. I mean, it could be just a whole nother storyline for her.
I agree. That kind of gave me a red flag too. And I started to think about the father too, that maybe it was the father.
Something must have happened. I mean,
nothing's good in this show. In that sense.
She must understand what it is to say she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
She must know what it feels like or what it entails.
This isn't a better way of looking at it, but hopefully it's that something happened not with her, and from hearing about it, she's kind of thrown off by the full thing. Again, still not a good situation, but at least it doesn't involve her directly.
Yeah.
That's my only hope.
Yeah, that'd be better.
Yeah. Again, I don't know exactly where it's going to go in terms of are they going to be good. They're stealing again from the damn vending
so hard
machine.
to be mad because she's doing it for her family.
Yeah. And the vending machine thing was genius. I just think about that. I mean, where I work, that happens all the time where those things get stuck. And I was just thinking that I could really help some people out at work if I realized taking the tape measure in there to try to get things out.
I don't think she was helping in that regard.
Don't do it,
I mean,
JJ.
she's pretty smart for
It's
her
a
age.
gateway. You'll keep doing it.
I just want to know from a writing perspective, how do you come up with this? Because it's the ultimate, you try to get your hand in there, but obviously they made the mechanism so it just kind of, you can't go through it. And so with a tape measure, all you needed to do is fall down. So, and
I wonder if they personally went through that. I wonder if someone someone on the writing team knew. Because they did it before.
Yeah, it always gets me nervous, shows like this and Breaking Bad, of where they get their true inspiration from.
Yeah.
So,
it's true.
Yeah, Bonnie and Carl. I think we're gonna, season 4, right? No, we are in 4.
Yeah.
Season 5. I think we're blowing through these seasons.
I know.
It's so fast.
This went by really quickly.
I think there's gonna be a lot with the two of them in season 5.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I do too, because I think he really likes her, and they are cute together.
They are.
What I don't like though, it's just we're adding, I like the people, but I'm just saying from a Gallagher perspective, this is not good because now you got Running Tree's family coming in, you got Frank all messed up, you got Fiona in jail, you got Lip keeping the family together, but now he's dealing with
Amanda.
7 kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then how many is it? 4 kids for 5 kids.
That he's taking care of himself.
The Sheila's taking care of.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of kids next season.
So
so many.
We're expanding the Gallagher household.
Yeah.
And Carl just really didn't need any other influence to be naughty. I mean, we already knew he was going to be going down on this track for a long time. We didn't really see real positive things coming from him in the future. And now with her, I just don't even, the shenanigans they could get involved with could be crazy.
And that's, as it kind of continues, again, they have, Lip's not really a role model. As Bonnie's hanging down and Carl's got her by the feet, he said, "Is that your father?" And, he's right now the closest thing that they got, but he can't devote the time to really teach them. Again, look at what happened with Debbie. Look at what's happening with Carl. And so it gets me nervous. But what are you going to do? But that's part of the reason why I like this season is that we're being exposed to people worse than the Gallaghers. We thought we couldn't, we'll talk about Fiona in jail and that whole storyline of but yeah, and even with the dinner with Lip and his girlfriend, and we'll talk about that. But remember, they're like, oh yeah, my for murder, they're in prison.
Yeah,
it's just like nonchalant.
Yeah,
and I don't know if we should be bringing in worse kids than the Gallaghers.
Well, it'll keep things interesting.
And even
for
the
sure.
girl that was on the bus next to Fiona when she's on her way to prison, who's stabbed.
Yeah, like giving cocaine to a kid is not thug enough.
Yeah. It's not like stabbing your boyfriend's wife in the stomach with her baby inside.
And then saying, oops.
Yeah.
I thought, while we're on that, just real fast, I thought that would have been like at least somewhat of a saving grace of like, okay, she said the bitch is lying. But, and then she just says it like, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And they just took it there. They just took it. They didn't care.
People, man.
Because it would have been bad enough to,
right.
like, oh, hey, you're lying. Let me, okay.
Never mind.
But
My bad.
that is how they always get us, though. Just when you think like it can't get worse, you're like, okay, well, this was bad, but at least the lady wasn't pregnant. And then, no, yeah, she was. Yeah. It's like Shameless always takes that extra step.
Oh, my goodness.
It does.
Let's, somewhat joyous, I guess, we can call the coming out of Mickey.
Yay.
I was waiting for the whole reveal as to what's going on with Ian. Like, why he's acting so weird. And I guess...
He needed his Prince Charming.
I guess...
To change into the prince instead of being a frog. There you go. It comes back full circle.
I guess his main issue internally was the fact that he couldn't be his boyfriend's boyfriend publicly and vice versa. And like I said in the last episode, I feel like all of his antics and all his behavior was to push back that feeling in his brain. Because, he's distracting himself with working out. He's distracting himself with, all these crazy ideas that he wants to do and his, like, reading and writing down ideas and stuff. So I thought that's why he was acting that way. And it makes sense to me, at least, unless there's something that we have to find out next episode. But
I still thought he was on more drugs just because it was so... His actions were just so sporadic and he just seemed so unlike him. Yeah. It seemed more to me than just... repressing all that and, wanting it to come out. So I still think there might be something else that comes out.
It might be drugs, or a lot of people leaving comments on our videos are saying he's manic or he's bipolar, just like Monica. So, I mean, there could be a lot more that we don't know yet. So, but I was expecting something crazy.
Remember why he ultimately left, though?
Yeah.
Was because Mickey.
Yeah.
And... so I don't think, I'm not ruling out drugs. I definitely think it was drugs. But now that him and Mickey are together, I think he can move past the drugs because he got what he ultimately wanted was Mickey.
He seemed a lot more calm this episode. Yeah. He seemed a lot more himself. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that Mickey finally came clean and he was acting more the way he wanted him to. Yeah.
I still love, they're right up there with me with Kevin B. Like, I just love their relationship. And I love that he stood up to Mickey tonight and was like, no, I'm leaving and don't come over and it's over. And I liked him putting his foot down and not wanting to be in the shadows anymore. And I loved Mickey announcing it to the whole bar.
Yeah. I like that it wasn't as easy for Mickey to keep Ian on track. Like, they were still, he was still sleeping at his house and everything, but... I'm glad that Ian gave him that ultimatum because that's all he needed.
I like ultimately that it really wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah.
It was only a big deal to his father.
Yeah.
And sadly the father didn't see that. Because everyone just like, okay, back to the music.
Yeah.
And it's only them that really get into a fight.
And those fight scenes, it took me back to the one before. They're so hard to watch. They're with his dad. They're just so brutal.
I feel it.
It really gets you.
Totally feel that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I love how in the baptism scene, it's all of these, the unholiest of people in this huge chapel, including the priest, as we found out in the bar.
I like, just in terms of that, I like how they can take every moment just become shameless. Like, hand me my cell phone.
Yeah. And then there's Kev in his meditative pose.
Okay, that conscientious objectivism.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically he's a pacifist now. He's probably gotten rid of his guns. They closed up his storyline last episode. So now this is it for him right now.
Yeah, well, hopefully they're making money because they need it.
Yeah. Hopefully.
But half the chairs were ruined in that fight.
Yeah.
I know. I thought about that when that happened. I'm like, oh no, don't ruin the bar for him. So I was glad they kind of went outside at the point when.
If you noticed, also the construction guys were gone. If you looked at the front of the bar, they weren't there. So maybe he's been getting some more traffic since then.
Yeah, that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
That would be good.
Yeah.
In terms of Mickey and his wife, obviously that's going to be a big point of contention next episode. Yeah. But I like, if he can live, as Ian says, freely, then I think, I think ultimately the two of them can make amends. Because I think deep down, Ian and Mickey care about the kid, and I think she can care about the kid too, and they just got to figure it out.
I think she could be understanding.
Yeah.
It'll take some time. A lot of effort.
I mean, unfortunately, he treats her in the worst of ways, and he gives her a weird ultimatum of like, hey, listen, 5 years, you're gonna be a washed up whore, sucking dick for $5 on the corner.
Sad. I still don't think it's his kid.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's it. I don't feel sorry for her at all. Like when he says things like that to her, it's just like I don't like her. Like she's
why?
Why don't I like her? I just think I don't trust her. Like I'm with you. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't his, his kid, or if it was even his dad's kid, or I don't know. I wonder if
she
evil.
even knows. I mean, all she wants is to be taken care of. Yeah. But I wonder if she even knows if that kid is Mickey's or not.
Yeah, for me, though, I would just like some somewhat normalcy, and just the three of them can take care of the kids, find some kind of balance, and that's it. I mean, we're going to be taking, at least, over 10 kids for the Gallagher household. We can make a wife and a kid work as well, just to keep a gay love going. That's my perspective.
Okay.
I want some happiness. Why we gotta kill off and take people out?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, she should just take over the business, run all the whores, and then have the kids, and then Mickey can move on.
Or kill Sasha and take over her business.
Yeah.
Do something super shameless like that.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of good moments between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and fingers crossed, because they may be here for the season finale. This would have been the episode to have them on, but I believe it was Noel's. I don't know if it was his birthday yesterday, but he had some sort of party.
Cool.
So insider knowledge.
We're open next week.
Nice.
And Cameron, who plays Ian, he had a photo shoot as well, so that's partly why he couldn't be here tonight.
Doing work.
Work.
It's all good.
Hey, they got a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Cameron Monaghan, who plays Ian, he's got The Giver coming out, among other things, and then
that's right.
And then Noel is in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Cool.
Nice.
I'm so excited for both of those.
I am too. I grew up on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, and The Giver, I mean, I remember reading that, so we'll definitely talk with them if they, fingers crossed that they're here.
Hopefully.
It just comes down to timing. They want to be here. They really did. They were so bummed that they couldn't.
Oh. It's okay, guys.
All right. Let's talk about the title character tonight, Emily.
She was so cute.
She was.
Yeah.
She broke my heart when I found out that she had, that heart problem. But I loved how she was kind of, Frank, not in the right state of mind. He thought she was Fiona, when he opened his eyes and everything.
It was very symbolic because
it was like his chance of penance, and then her chance of forgiveness. And granted, he didn't know that she didn't realize that she wasn't Fiona, and she knew that he wasn't her father, but it was maybe her way of forgiving before she died.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely a
really
great moment.
sweet.
I mean, I loved it. Like, I loved their connection. I loved when they held hands, and it was just, a moment that both of them really needed, and I just thought it was an excellent scene.
It made me wonder if that was something Frank always wanted to say to Fiona, but never did.
Here's my problem with it. It was such a sweet moment, and I think it was more of a moment for Emily rather than Frank, because A, I don't think he'll remember it. B, it sounds like he's had this speech with Fiona before, and she has forgiven him. But look at him, he's still asking for Vicodin down to the last breath.
Yeah.
And other drugs just to keep going. So ultimately, I'm as bad a shape as Frank is, I don't forgive him. And he was supposed to bring back the brownie. He started eating. I don't know. He maybe brought it back. But
I don't think he brought it back. He had it in his hand when he went back to bed right before they found Emily flatlining.
Yeah.
But I feel like he would have given it to her if he could.
Perhaps. For me, it was a very sad moment, but again, it was made sad by Emily, not Frank, because even that moment between him and Sheila of like, we found out some backstory, perhaps, right?
Yeah. Yes. About him and his mom.
We'll do that later.
Yeah. Wait until we're home. When she was trying to kiss him, and he was like, "No, Mom, we're in public."
And he grabs a little...
Even her face was like, "What?"
Yeah.
So just the mystery deepens and how Frank got to be Frank. So, quickly, let's talk about Sheila, because she kind of ties into all of this. You know, what's nice about Sheila is despite her craziness and Sammy finally kind of being like, okay, enough, lady. Like, just stop. You have to stop eventually. But I like how it did affect Emily in a positive way of like, you know what, I don't really get to be in school. I don't have, you know, a family. It's just kind of, we don't know if she has brothers or sisters, but I assume if she had, they would have been there.
Yeah.
So she's kind of getting, not restitution, but whatever you call it.
Just what she could before her last day.
Yeah, definitely. I liked it too. I mean, I didn't want to see, for Sheila, when we talked last week, I didn't really want to see all the kids come because I just thought, oh boy, you know, she's got her hands full, and I don't know if I want her to have this many kids and kind of just distract from taking care of the Gallaghers. But yeah, with Emily, I mean, you know, being a child and in the hospital, so miserable.
Yeah.
And, you know, just to and not have visitors, not have other kids her age, not be able to. I loved them be able to do the, you know, the dance to awaken Frank's spirit and her getting into it, and I just, yeah, it was really sweet for her.
Which
I love to experience that.
Go ahead. You're gonna say about the waking up?
No, I was gonna say I was gonna just say I love how her mom kept telling her to, you know, to pipe down because she was maybe imposing, but I love that she didn't listen to her mom.
Yeah.
About the waking up.
About the waking up. The funniest part was not it was Carl doing what he did, but then Sheila being like, "You woke him up, congratulations."
Yeah.
That was the real kick in the nut, so to speak.
Oh my God, she's so funny. I want to know how she's going to act towards Frank, you know, when he's home and when she has the kids. I mean, they're married now, so is she going to kind of force them to live, like him to live with her and to help take care of the kids?
She'll take care of him.
She'll take care of him, but I wonder if all this lovey-dovey stuff is a total, you know, facade. I don't know.
Like she's never been like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little strange.
Ooh.
It's a timer. Yeah.
I thought that was music for the lovey-dovey.
I know.
I was like, oh.
You know what? Here's
yes,
what,
it is. Let's play it off that way.
It's time. Well, because I want to discuss this. That's what it's time for. Frank, as bad a guy as he is, he got what he ultimately needed, and it works for the show because the show continues. But here's Emily, young and innocent, who needs a heart, and she, at her age, does not. She ends up dying.
Yeah.
Is this justice?
No.
This is the worst. We love Frank, and yet, like, I give the writers so much credit, but I'm trying to practice conscientious objectivism, and you know what? Frank is the worst of all human beings.
I agree. We talked about this a little bit last week where I said I just, when they rushed him to the top of the donor list, you know, because he was on, I was like,
why would they do that?
Yeah, like, because for me, there's got to be a million other people on that list who are more deserving of that second chance, and to just give it to him and all he'll want to do is drink and mess up people's lives again. I mean, I love it because I love the show and I of course want him to stay on it forever, but in real life, I really hope that wouldn't be the choice that they would make of who they would give that to. But
I mean, it was kind of, I kind of thought about that briefly as well. Like, how could someone like Emily, who's so innocent and so young, you know, die in the show when someone like Frank got his second chance? And I do give credit to the Redditors as well. That was really brave. That's going to probably cause a lot of like controversy in other reviews.
Hopefully, I mean, you know, again, it's just I like it because hopefully people are talking about it.
Yeah.
I give them so much credit because they did it in such a nice way, and again, they fooled us with the moments with Frank.
They
and
covered
her.
up with that.
They really did. But it needs to be mentioned. And I think it was so conscious on their part, and you're just always torn. But I can't like Frank. I can't. I have to be. And I think what's worse is ultimately the Gallaghers are somehow going to forgive Frank.
Maybe.
So I mean, Ian said. Remember, Carl tells Ian like, "Hey, Frank's surgery went well," and Ian's like, "I don't care."
Yeah.
So I'm glad in that respect. But perhaps that's because Ian's been so preoccupied with what he's got going on with Mickey that now that's all lovey-dovey, he might care about Frank again.
Like maybe all the major, what they consider their major problems in their own lives are kind of settling a little bit. Maybe they'll find more time to think about Frank and to maybe put it in their hearts to forgive him. I don't know.
But they shouldn't. They shouldn't.
They shouldn't. I mean, I don't know if I could. If this were my life and that was my father, I don't think I could ever care. I mean, personally, but then again,
I don't know. I think I probably at some point. I mean, at the end of the day,
I mean,
he's
if
still
Sammy
my dad,
could-
and I would have to like at some point probably accept him for who he is. I mean, I don't have to agree with what he does or support it in any way, but I think there would be part of me that wouldn't want him dead. You know, that I would want him alive, and hopefully that someday
You'd be
he
the
would
Sammy
change.
of the siblings.
I probably would be the Sammy. That's the role I play.
It's all good.
I
I
just
don't know.
he need for the sake of the Gallaghers, not for the show, but for the Gallaghers, he needs to die.
Wow.
He needs to.
I don't know.
Those were big words,
I
Phil.
know those were.
You know what? Hey,
Frank needs to die.
he does.
Oh.
He needs to die. What good has come from this man? Think about
The kids.
Think of how shocked the doctors were when they see him, and he just.
Oh.
I mean,
bad.
granted, again, he's gonna be who he is, but again, I think even like for lack of a better term, sober Frank or healthy Frank, he would have no shame either way. Like no matter, just plops
Ew,
down
his
everything.
urine. Oh, that's so
Right
nasty.
by their food.
It's so brown.
So I think for me, he should go. For the sake of the Gallaghers, for the sake of the show, I have a different opinion.
Yeah.
But speaking of opinions, you guys have been great, i.e. you, the listener. So thank you guys for being with us, for however many seasons you've been with us. Hopefully since the beginning, because I'm very proud of this show because we've been doing this show since the third episode. We didn't start right off the bat, but since season 1, third episode, we've been doing this, and we've been really building it. And so you guys have built it into a great community, so continue doing so. And hey, just let us know your opinion. Like, there's so much to talk about this show. Every week, we can't fill up the board with the amount of storylines that we always get. They always manage to pack it, and no moment is spared on the show, and this season especially. So we'd love to hear what you guys are saying, especially moving into the season finale. What's going to be answered, what's going to be left as a cliffhanger, and how do you want to end? Let us know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll read some good ones.
Let's start a conversation.
Get it going.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about. We didn't talk about Lip and Amanda yet.
Okay.
And just by the way, if you're a male listening to this, females, please forgive me for this shameless tip. But if you're a guy, and you're getting
Well, it could be vice versa. It could be for both.
Yeah.
okay. Fair enough.
Getting your tacos
Good save.
chomped. You can,
That's why I like you. Good save. Good save. Oh my god. All right. So ladies too, if you're getting your box chowed, it's okay. Save the talk for get your pleasure, then discuss the issues at hand.
Yes.
Because then you've already peaked.
Yeah. Well, for Lip, from all the sex scenes I've seen with him and Mandy, they're always talking about their dirty laundry while they're having sex. They're always talking about something when they're
But they don't let it
doing it. It does exactly. It doesn't stop them. So maybe he was just like, whatever. I'm just doing my thing. Like this is how I enjoy myself. I don't know. But yes,
True.
He should have held back on the conversation until.
So, shameless tip.
Thanks.
Pardon the
we
pun.
missed those, Phil.
But I guess good move on her part.
Yeah.
Where if she really wanted him to do what she wanted, and come to dinner and stuff, then she made the right move.
Yeah.
This was so shameless on their parts of like, I love how, just skip it. We'll kind of backtrack right after this, but I love at the end the reveal of like, you should have held out for 15. Are you serious?
Yeah.
So, what I love about kind of in hindsight, how it all worked out, the whole argument started because he needed money and and that's why he needed to be with his family that night. And that's why he couldn't be with her. But it solves both of their problems.
Yeah.
And he certainly wasn't expecting 10,000.
That'll fix all the problems
Yeah.
the social services worker came and told him about, the the stairs, the exposed wire. You need a smoke detector here.
Well, and it was perfect because now, and she told him the exact day and time that she would be back, and now he has this money to fix it all and get it.
Got about
because she was there the whole time that whole thing was going on, so she knows he has the money now, and hopefully he'll take care of it.
Yeah.
By the way, I love seeing her. I don't know the actress's name, but I know her as Piyama from Malcolm in the Middle, and I got so excited because I love her.
Yeah, and I love how they tied that in because it could have been the worst of things. You know what I mean? Because here he is trying to, for lack of a better term, trash down his family. And now we have all these random kids, so okay, that's an advantage. And however, you need the exact opposite if you're going to impress a social worker. So like, how is he going to juggle this?
Yeah.
You know, and it felt, to me, the comedy was in how, like, you kind of see it in Marx Brothers, their movie Room Service. I imagine most of you haven't seen it, but it's brilliant in that way of like just trying to juggle 8,000 things at once. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Yeah.
I also really like Amanda. Like, I liked how at the beginning of the year, I was just, she seemed so prude and so just stuck up. Yeah, and bitchy. And I really like the way this character has evolved because I loved her tonight. I just think, I like that she's like, I mean, she's smart and she keeps him on track. She's a good influence in his life, but she's also like, sassy, and she's got like she's wants to pull this over on her parents, and I just think it's a really fun character. I've enjoyed watching her.
I did too. For a moment I thought she was actually going to stop talking to Lip, but then afterwards I was like, this is exactly what she loves. She loves the fact that he took the money, that he's doing what she asked essentially, and good for him, and I'm glad she came back.
Well, because they had that great it's double layered, right? Because like, I'm a man of my word.
She really hit his pride there when she said that. When she was like, "You're not a man of your word," and that like, he's proud of being that reliable person. And
well, that was if you really thought about it, that was the right before she left with her family. That was the reveal of like, okay, it's not about the family and their deal. It's about our initial deal. Of like, I'm doing this for you, and of course I took the money, so you're good to go. Yeah, we're on.
Yeah.
So,
I liked him coming into her class too, and giving her the address for dinner, and I like that move.
I mean, I don't know if I would have the gumption to do that.
No.
Especially looking like, okay, he's got a trash bag, he's got
a kid,
black kid.
They're all layered.
No says he just stole the food from the commissary and.
Yeah. So,
that's Lip. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
But I'm glad, I guess that, again, in terms of her, I guess that turns her on, because I don't know most girls who would find that romantic.
Yeah.
For a guy to bust in like that.
Well, for someone who grew up with parents like that, I mean, I feel like from what it looks like, they're super strict and they have high expectations for her and everything. I think because of that, that's what she gets off on. Like, she loves the people who break the rules, or the people who can hold their shit together even though they're kind of they have like a shitty family, or I don't know.
I thought that move was pretty romantic. I think to after she calls him out and says it's not
most of the romantic things I've seen, like you storm in there like, hey, I've been wrong, would you like to marry me? Like that sort of thing.
You mean not the bag? Okay, so that's. I mean, he maybe could have done it with a rose. I was wrong, But yeah, I guess the bag full of food and stuff. But I mean, I'm putting it at the Gallagher level. I think that was romance.
She's not like other girls, guys.
No, she's not. She is definitely.
She will vomit at the sight of roses from Lip. Probably. She'll be like, "What is this? Get it away from me."
It's true. So, in their own weird way, they're finding love and. And they had shitty lasagna together, which, by the way, I love how
that's cute.
He hands the social worker like, "Hey, you're gonna." Well, first off, you gonna finish that?
Yeah.
We had a late lunch. Okay, here you go. I hear it's pretty shitty, so don't you can dabble it.
Yeah.
What great storylines.
Yeah. Really
I'm glad tonight's episode really moved things along. It was definitely sad at moments, but it's nonetheless a little bit lighthearted. A little, more so than the past episodes, because I don't think we could have gone more with the way we're headed as a viewer.
Last week was definitely heavy hitting.
Yeah, I agree. It was nice to get a little resolve in some things, like get Mickey and Ian together.
And now we can stop worrying about Carl and he's not going to get, he's not going to get her pregnant now anyway.
Thank God.
So I'm happy about that.
Before we move on, I do want to also address fans because I know you guys are great because you guys catch us on our BS sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get facts wrong.
Yeah.
And you know what? We truly and sincerely do apologize for that. It's no excuse, but it is extremely difficult to literally watch a show with no commercials because we can't look up stuff as we go, and then to come into studio right after, sometimes with guests. So and I just remember when we had Debbie, and Mike, the characters, in studio, and we were all happy, and then the cocaine thing happened, and then you're left with such emotion. So sometimes, again, no excuse, but we, the good news is we like when you guys catch us on that stuff and correct us, so keep doing so, because again, it just continues the conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Fiona, you called that she was going to jail.
She was going back to jail, yeah. Luckily, it's not for a super long time, and luckily, she's not one of the worst offenders there.
That's what I like is that, for her, the lesson is, I don't really seem to belong here, and I could redeem myself.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, she didn't belong at home for a while, and now she's here at the correctional facility, and she still doesn't belong there. And it's for a good reason, but when is she going to finally feel like she could turn her life around and get comfortable? That's what that's what kills me about her character right now.
And I think that's what going there will do for her. I think this is the wake up call that she needed to, get her life back in check and have some time there to be by herself and realize, that I don't fit in with these people and I'm not this and this isn't how I want to be. Yeah. But to also really miss her family and feel bad about some of the things that she messed up and took for granted. And I think hopefully she'll come out and be the Fiona that we loved so much before.
Also, she's never really been bullied like that, at least not that I can recall. I mean, she's never been bullied and not done anything about it. And I think here she really has to be careful, and maybe she's going to have to Orange is the New Black some stuff in these next couple episodes.
I mean, definitely. In 90 days, it's the perfect time. It's 90 days of sobriety. It's 90 days of thinking. Yes, the days, I'm sure, extremely long because it's you and your thoughts. But it's also not long enough. Imagine 5 years, the initial sentence. So I'm glad it's a good amount of time, ultimately.
Yeah, I agree. I want her to get out of there with no problems. And I mean, she's getting sent photos from Carl and Lip. Is she able to use her phone? I was
confused about that too.
Yeah, is she able to pull it out on her, I don't know, her phone call days or something?
I don't know.
Is that a thing?
I didn't think so. I mean,
ultimately, when she gets out, 10,000 messages.
Yeah.
So she'll be like, okay, at least they haven't, if they send one every day, it's like, okay, you know what? For the 90 days that I've been in jail, it's emotional in the sense okay, I didn't have any communications, but look at all these messages that I have.
That's true.
And they're all thinking of her, which is great. I'm glad that Lip has finally come around and come to terms with this and forgive her and accept what's happening.
Yeah. I like their relationship, so it's nice to see him supportive of her again.
Yeah. I love how accurate his voice recognition on his phone was when he was sending her that message. I was like, that does not happen in real life.
No.
Well, he's good at technology.
True that.
So, I mean, what did he get? An A in macroeconomic?
Therm something.
I forget. We paused on the other report card just enough to see, okay, he's got 1 C, GPA, NA. Got to get a B average. Yeah. So right now we're not hitting that mark.
Yeah.
So we just got the bare minimum of what we needed to.
And so glad that he got what he needed for that, too.
Me too.
And he got more than he needed because he got Amanda later. She took him right along.
I'm proud of Lip. I'm so proud of him for juggling all this stuff and doing well in school considering what he's going through.
I think he's gonna ultimately need to help Fiona once she gets out, and I'm curious to see because Frank doesn't know about any of this. So he's off in his own world for various reasons.
Yeah. And she doesn't really know what's going on with him now anyway. I mean, she's totally clueless about his new surgery and his recovery and everything. I wonder how they're gonna greet each other
Yeah,
when the time comes.
especially when they made that connection, of like, and I don't know, like, is it? I'm trying to figure out the symbolism, with Fiona dying. Is it that the Fiona we loved and knew is dead, or that somehow she fell off of temptation and now she's anew again? Like what?
Maybe it's foreshadowing. Maybe she will come back and forgive Frank for everything.
Perhaps.
That's a long shot, though, I think.
Yeah, because I don't know yet what I thought that meant for sure, but for me, I thought it was more influence on Frank than her. I thought it was more of...
But he won't remember any of it, though, when he comes to. I don't know. But
yeah, I think it was more, for me, like him at that state recognizing how much he's failed her.
His subconscious.
And how he...
ultimately, the way
away.
For me, the way we have to discuss it is from a filmmaking perspective. Because none of the characters are putting the three dots together, but somehow, writing wise and story wise, it's supposed to mean something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You could be right.
I didn't say anything. I don't even know what I'm right about. But
that the old Fiona was dying
and she's new. I mean, hopefully she is new and she regains her innocence.
Okay.
To what Emily is.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Anything else you guys want to touch upon that we may not have touched upon yet?
I think that was all I had on.
All right.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
All right. Very cool. So let's get into predictions for the season finale.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay.
You go. I need a minute to process this. Like, it's the end, so I feel like there's got to be something big.
I know it's the preview. It was, I think, misleading in so many different ways. Again, it did what it was needed to. It teased us in the worst of ways, and it's like, how is this going to end?
Mm-hmm.
And we're back to Frank being angry. It seems
he's still asking for alcohol. He's wondering why his new liver isn't. What's the point of having it if I can't use it for what it's for?
Yeah, and there seems to be Sheila and Sammy get into this has been slowly building. And we were always asking why hasn't Sammy stepped up about like, hey, what are you doing to my father? Why hasn't Sheila been like, okay, you literally sold all my stuff.
House. Yeah. You're squatting in my house.
So
it's about time.
That seems to come out. And we see Mandy back, but then of course Amanda's in the picture.
Yeah.
And what's gonna happen with Maddie and Debbie? Kyle and Bonnie.
I think there's gonna be a ton of conflicts beginning in this season finale. Like they're gonna start and they're gonna carry over to season 5. I think there's gonna be conflict between maybe Debs and her friends, just because we saw.
I don't really call that conflict. I call that good riddance.
Okay, good riddance, but it's just an added drama in her life. That's going to be something that's going to start, and then there's going to be conflict between Sammy and Sheila, and conflict between Mandy and Amanda. Like, there's just going to be a lot of drama for sure that'll carry over.
You know what? To resolve Debbie's conflict, I say now that we did Bonnie's family, we take them to school, and again, I don't know how the grades quite works. I don't know if they're in the same building per se, but regardless, I mean, hey, you have this whole army. And you know what? We can protect Debbie.
True.
We can fight off Holly easily with everyone. So
they do have quite if those families team up, they definitely have a big army.
So I'm not too worried about Holly.
Okay.
And the school being ridiculing of Debbie.
I was a little nervous to see Mandy back and seeing her see Lip and Amanda. But I really hope Amanda wins out on this one. I would like to see Mandy be out of Lip's life.
Well, there's always two facets because, she's also part of Mickey and Ian's life, and then she's part of Lip's life. And last time we kind of left off, she was more a part of Mickey and Ian's life, but in order to what Ian and Mickey ultimately want, that means Mandy and Lip have to be together.
Yeah,
that's kind of so it's.
What do you mean? Why?
Well, because they have to separate her and her current boo, because he's abusive.
Yeah.
Kenyatta.
And who's not abusive ultimately? Lip, because deep down they feel at least that they love each other.
Yeah.
And that's what Ian and Mickey are probably going to try to prove to Mandy, but then all of a sudden, Lip's moved on.
Yeah. It's so hard because I like both of them for the same reasons. I like Amanda and Mandy because they both helped Lip, and I don't know, they both have this sort of dysfunctional but it works relationship. Like they work for each other, with each other.
Yeah.
But
I'm
I
going
agree.
for Amanda. She's just not as
They're gonna
crazy.
go
Mandy's
head to
still
head.
crazy. I mean, she is
is
trying
crazy.
to corrupt Debs into doing, she got Debs in this trouble that she got
I
into.
know.
Yeah.
It's time to cut that tie.
But I'm glad it worked out that Maddie, ultimately, again, we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
All right, so 1 week left before the
Wow.
season
Oh, I'm
4
so sad.
finale. I know, but there is going to be a season.
There's a
5.
lot to look forward to.
There's always something to look forward to.
totally.
It's just, even though there's always a year in between, it just comes and goes and comes and
does.
goes. But in the meantime, JJ, where can we find you?
You can find me at JJ Jurgens on Facebook, Instagram, and on my blog at tomgirl.tv.
And on the Nashville podcast. So, hey, you know what? If you miss her voice, check that out as well.
Nashville's Wednesday night.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter at JAJOURI, on Instagram at IRUOJA, and on the Tuesday night at Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. I can't talk right now.
Well, there you go. See? So you can always catch these ladies on something else. Follow us here on AfterBuzz TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We've got some cool stuff coming up. And in fact, there's some really cool stuff, I think. I'm going to tease this. This is a year tease. I think by season 5 of Shameless, we'll have something really, really cool. So I'm teasing that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Got a year
Okay.
tease. And watch Bar Rescue tonight on Spike, because AfterBuzz is featured on it. Watch Bad Girls Club this Tuesday on Oxygen, because AfterBuzz is on it. And then watch Chasing Maria Menounos,
Yeah.
because AfterBuzz is on it. We'll catch you
Everywhere.
later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.